Hi, I'm Vaz. Welcome to my story. "23 times during my life I've lost 50 or more pounds. All it took was for me to realize that foods like this are what should fuel your life." Welcome to my story and another version of Get Healthy. Well, as you can all tell, I continue to lose body fat, and I've lost down to about 140 pounds now. But the show's not really about me. What the show's about is, it does show you my weight loss and my style of eating, but I want you all to know that you can do this too. The whole point is to eat nutritionally sound foods, and then the fat will just melt off your body. That's just a side effect of building super immunity through GBOMBS, which were created by Dr. Joel Fuhrman, who wrote the book Eat to Live, an awesome read. You read that book, by the time you're done and you followed it for a few months, you'll be a nutritionist yourself. You'll learn more than you ever thought you would ever know about nutrition. He also created an acronym, GBOMBS. Now that describes the 6 most important food groups that you're going to want to consume on a daily basis. They're not the only foods to consume, but they're the super immunity building foods. GBOMBS, the bombs that will destroy heart disease and win the battle against diabetes, stop cancer in its tracks. These are the things that we want to eat. GBOMBS stands for greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. We're going to want to memorize that and learn what it means. The greens, GBOMBS, the G. Greens are foods like collard greens, kale, but they're also foods like romaine lettuce and broccoli, bok choy, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, cabbage, all those type of foods. That's the greens. Get the greens in your diet. We need those, they're very important. We need the super cancer fighters and fat reducers, beans, legumes in our diets every day. Black beans, white beans, yes, kidney beans, pinto beans, all those type of beans. However, beans also include peanuts, green peas, lentils, foods along those lines. Now let's get to onions. There was a survey done by scientists on 30,000 people throughout the European continent. What they did was they researched the relationship between cancer rates and food consumption. And the most important nutrient that was found, the most important food that was found to have the lowest cancer rates, in fact an 80% reduction in all cancer rates, were onions. Even more than tomatoes were onions. Next is the superfood mushrooms. Mushrooms are loaded with phytochemicals. They also have something called aromatase inhibitors in them, which prevent the production of blood cells. What's good about that? Well, cancer cells and fat cells and all abnormal cells, they need you to produce new blood cells to feed them and fuel them and make them grow. And if that can't happen, they can't grow. Then we have berries. Especially blueberries and strawberries have proven to have the most cancer-fighting abilities of all berries, but all berries are good. And we need seeds in our diet every day to get good omega fats. And those seeds will of course include flax seeds, number one. Flax itself can help prevent prostate cancer, breast cancer, and it's loaded with fiber. In fact, 2 tablespoons of flax seeds has 7 total grams of carbohydrates, and 6 of those grams are dietary fiber. Also, I eat sunflower seeds very often, and my cousin brought me some sesame seed paste today, which is tahini. And you can also eat other types of seeds. Any type of seeds you can think of. Seeds are a very good source of omega-3 fats, especially flax. I include flax every single day in my diet in some way, shape, or form. So to reiterate GBOMBS, greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. Eat these 6 foods every day. The fat will melt off your body. Is this all you're going to consume? No. Vaz also eats whole wheat pastas, brown rice, quinoa, things like that in the starch group. I still eat white potatoes. I eat sweet potatoes all the time. I make them into my veggie burgers. I'm sure you've seen that episode. I eat canned vegetables as well. That's what's behind me today, a picture of, I was going out of town and I was camping out for 1 week doing a house remodel in Baltimore, Maryland. And these are the foods I brought with me to eat in the van. I brought my microwave so every day I could have my oatmeal. And I put flax seeds in it each morning. And I bought these fruits in natural juices so that I could put applesauce in my oatmeal. I could put some pineapple tidbits in my oatmeal. Then at night I'd have a cup of mixed fruit with a tablespoon or 2 of my peanut butter, which is only made with roasted peanuts. It has no other added ingredients, no salt, no sugar. I brought stuff for salads. I brought lemons to make lemon water. I had all kinds of mixed vegetables, sweet peas, spinach, black beans, chickpeas. Anything you could think of I brought with me. Cannellini beans. I brought solid white albacore tuna. And sardines and water. This was just a sampling of what I brought with me on the Baltimore trip. I was only there 2 days when the woman wanted to eat healthy too, so she made a shopping list and she went to the local grocery store, and when she came home, I had so much food to eat in her house that we cooked every day. I cooked while I was doing the remodel. She was at work on the weekend. She was home. She cooked. And we had some awesome dishes, all healthy. She added no salt, no sugar, and no oil the whole time I was there to the foods that she was cooking. I still ate this every morning. I made my oatmeal. I made my instant coffee in my microwave in the van. It was actually a fun experience. I had a laptop out there and I got to communicate with people on Facebook while I was gone. As you know, Vaz's Facebook page right here, I have it scrolling again on the screen so that you could contact me. I have mistakenly written it in the past. It's actually facebook.com/VazStories. You can also contact me at my Gmail account if you needed to, which is Vaz, V-A-Z, mystory@gmail.com. So that's 2 ways you can get a hold of Vaz. You can also view all my episodes on YouTube. Look up veggie burgers, cauliflower flatbread, and all my episodes will come up on the right-hand column, and you can watch all my past episodes. This week I'm going to put number 8 and number 9, so there's quite a variety of things to choose from. Lately I decided to send the show more towards you and away from me. It's only, I show you some of the ways to cook, but I also am trying to teach you what is the NUTRITARIAN lifestyle. NUTRITARIAN is another word developed by Dr. Joel Fuhrman. Dr. Joel Fuhrman wrote the book Eat to Live. We should all read that. It's an awesome read. He did a special for PBS called 3 Steps to Incredible Health. That's what jump-started me on the healthy eating bandwagon, the NUTRITARIAN lifestyle, as he likes to call it. What the NUTRITARIAN lifestyle is Dr. Fuhrman, a family physician who also was an Olympic figure skater, who ate healthy his whole life. And his knee got destroyed in a skating accident, and he couldn't even walk for over a year. And during that year of convalescence at home, he continued to eat healthy as he was taught by his father. And he ate throughout his life fairly healthy. But he met a woman during that time who was going to medical school, and he had a lot of conversation with her about nutrition, and she said maybe he should go to medical school. So you know what? He did. He even married that woman. And they're still together today. They have 4 wonderful children. One of his children, Talia FUHRMAN, has her own website. She makes some delicious dessert recipes. You need to try those out. She makes versions of black bean cupcakes. You won't believe they're even made with black beans. She blows my recipes out of the water. She does an awesome job, as does Dr. FUHRMAN himself. And I try my best too. Anyway, back to the point. So the NUTRITARIAN lifestyle is this. Dr. FUHRMAN read many studies of scientists on nutrition. And he developed this NUTRITARIAN lifestyle, GBOMBS, greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds, to build super immunity in our bodies to overcome and reverse the effects of heart disease and diabetes, to stop cancer in their tracks. Greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. Those are the superfoods that are going to make you immune to heart disease, that are going to give you perfect blood pressure, excellent cholesterol. All your blood test results will be like mine, right where they belong. Nice and even keeled. You'll have unlimited energy as I do. Some days I only get 3 to 5 hours sleep and I'm not even tired. I have What's in this for me is I want all of you to get healthy. I want us to overcome the food industry's control of our lives by adding sugar and fat to make foods more palatable and more tasty, so that they control our minds and our dopamine receptors and our pleasure centers through the use of these food additives that make food irresistible to the human body. But the foods the human body really craves are fruits and vegetables. And that's why when we eat these fat-laden and sugar-laden foods, we become obese. Because as good as they taste, and as much as they control our pleasure centers, they don't satisfy our body's needs for micronutrients and phytochemicals. Micronutrients and phytochemicals is what Dr. FUHRMAN's theory is based upon. A nutritarian tries to eat foods very high in micronutrients and phytochemicals. Phyto means plant. So that would be vegetables and fruits, all plant-based foods. Greens, leafy greens. We get the phytochemicals from these. In the last decade or so, science has concluded that there's tens of thousands of small, important chemicals that control our body's processes. And without those, our body doesn't function properly. It doesn't absorb the nutrition that we eat. So when we eat the food industry's fat-laden, sugar-laden foods, we get a little pleasure from it, but our body doesn't get the nourishment it actually desires, and it just makes us continue to eat more and more and never get fully satisfied. And that's why we get so obese. That's why almost everyone who reaches a later adult age will have a heart attack if they don't learn to eat a plant-based diet. I'm not saying you can't eat meat. Dr. FUHRMAN's not saying you can't eat meat. In his theory, if you eat some animal product one day, try to eat completely vegan the next day. Myself, I've weaned off of animal products, except now that I don't eat meat in any way, shape, or form. I hardly even eat fish ever. You see, I sometimes eat some canned fish, or I might get some tilapia or some haddock, something like that, once in a great while. I don't eat fish that much either. I do eat eggs though, and I do consume cheese and yogurt. I enjoy these foods. They're obviously not hurting me. I have awesome blood test results and I feel excellent. I am in good health. I exercise all the time. And this is just more proof that when you abstain from the sugars and the fats as much as you should, you can reincorporate some of your favorites back into your diet. Dr. FUHRMAN preaches for a 90-10 lifestyle. He knows that people want to get some of those good, pleasurable foods in their diets, but he and I agree that you should include these healthy foods when you're making your pleasure items, and then more and more as you progress, you'll have no more desire for McDougal's or any of those type of foods. You won't even have any desire whatsoever to go out to get pizza, because you'll make your own pizza pie and it'll have a different kind of crust. Maybe it's whole wheat, but it's something that's more healthful than what you would normally get out. I'm not saying all restaurants don't make healthy food. I'm just saying that it's easier to control what you eat if you make your own food. But as you see, even Vaz eats canned foods all the time. I just always buy as often as possible, no salt added, and I buy these Renzi beans and chickpeas and cannellini beans because they don't add salt or sugar to their beans. However, if you need to eat other canned beans, I would rather see you myself eat beans of any way, shape, and form than not eat beans. So if you have to eat food from a can, go for it. I think I've proven over the last 15 months that eating the canned food is not going to hurt you. It's going to still make you more healthy. Okay, so let's get back to Dr. FUHRMAN. So he creates the NUTRITARIAN lifestyle. You must get a lot of micronutrients and phytochemicals. That's where GBOMBS comes in. Greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. 6 foods. Get them in your diet every day. In fact, you could get all 6 of them in a giant salad that you eat for at least one of your meals every day. That's the easy way to do it, and then you can eat the other foods on top of that. But the 6 foods in GBOMBS, you can eat as much of those foods as you want. In fact, macronutrients of protein, fats, and carbohydrates take a back seat to micronutrients and phytochemicals in the NUTRITARIAN lifestyle. That's the important message. You can eat as much as you want of healthful foods. I don't even know how many calories I consume. If you remember in one of my past episodes, I kept a food diary. During that time, I was consuming somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 calories a day. Now I don't even care. I continue to lose body fat, and I'm not sure where the bottom will be, but I must be very, very close to it. And I just eat what my body feels like it needs. As you become a nutritarian and you eat healthy foods over and over again, and let's memorize this GBOMBS: greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. As you progress along this lifestyle, your body will tell you what it needs to eat. Dr. FUHRMAN says that your body can tell you within 35 calories a day how much it needs to eat. A long time I didn't know if I believed that, but now I do, because it doesn't matter what I eat. I continue to lose body fat, and I continue to feel more healthy. I look more healthy, I feel more healthy. My energy level just continues to skyrocket. And I'm on a mission to tell you people that you can do it too, just like I did, just like Dr. FUHRMAN does, just like thousands of other people. In fact, if you go to Dr. FUHRMAN's website, you'll see testimonials from thousands of people. If you go to testimonials and you do a search and you type in Vaz, you'll see my story when I was minus 151 pounds. I'm probably minus 160 now. I think I'm very close to 140 pounds, but Personally, one of my issues was I didn't want to step on the scale too often because people's weight fluctuates up and down, up and down. I didn't want to scare myself or think I plateaued or any of those nonsensical statements, so it's rare if I weigh myself more than once every 3 to 5 months. It didn't matter. The way my clothes fit tell me if I'm losing weight. Well, my points today is I wanted you to know what a nutritarian is. A nutritarian is a person who eats micronutrient and phytochemical rich food. And the person gets to that point by eating the GBOMBS, which are greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. Greens, collards, kale, bok choy, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, cabbage, things like that. Beans, every kind of beans. Black beans, white beans, cannellini beans, chickpeas, lentils, green peas, peanuts are even legumes. All these things we need to consume. Onions, self-explanatory. Just remember, you must cut an onion before you eat it because the same chemical that makes you cry is the one that battles cancer for you. Mushrooms are a superfood. I personally like to cook my mushrooms, but it's fine to eat them raw. You even get vitamin D2 from mushrooms, and I learned a trick from another vegan. If you turn your mushrooms fin side up in the sun for 8 to 10 hours before you eat them or cook them or eat them raw, this was a raw foodist. He does that before he eats them raw. You get like 80 to 100 times more vitamin D2 from those mushrooms when you do consume them. I tried that trick for about a week before I took my vitamin D test, and my vitamin D test came out wonderful. It had me worried a little bit because I don't really like to take the multivitamins, but it did work. And now I drink almond milk too, so that's fortified with vitamin D. That's another reason I reincorporated some low-fat and no-fat cheese and yogurts into my diet, because they give me calcium and they give me the vitamin Ds, and I wanted to make sure I got all of that. I also use tofu more and more, so these are other foods that you can incorporate into your diet. But try and get as much as you can plant-based foods. I'd say I do a 90%, 10% plant-based foods and some dairy products and eggs. But maybe a dozen eggs a month for me. So the mushrooms are a superfood. Get those in your body any way you can. The berries, there's all kinds of berries. Raspberries, blueberries, wild blueberries are even higher in antioxidants than anything else. Cranberries, strawberries. Well, blueberries and strawberries have been shown through scientific research so far to have the most cancer-fighting benefits. And then we get to seeds. My favorite seed is flax. I use it in everything. I use it to replace eggs. I crush some up and put it in my oatmeal. I use it in many different ways, in baked goods, in my pizza crusts, my veggie burgers. Whatever I cook, I throw some in, because flax has many benefits. It raises your fiber level, which is also an important factor. But if you eat a mostly plant-based diet, you will have so much fiber in your diet, you won't believe how quickly all the fat and heart disease just flushes itself right out of your body. It's incredible. Today in Vaz's Corner, I'd like to pay tribute to Shawn. He's my youngest fan, about 16 years old. And he had a request for what type of drinks do I prepare. Well, I often drink only water for days on end, or black coffee, but occasionally if I sit down, I'll show you the whoopie pies I made the other day. They have a peanut butter filling, and the cake itself is made with all healthy ingredients, whole wheat flour. I ground up raisins instead of sugar, all healthy ingredients. I'll do this recipe on a different episode, but tonight I'm going to sit down with a whoopie pie. I'm going to have a banana and strawberry with a couple tablespoons of zero-fat yogurt, which is high in protein, and some almond milk, so these give me plenty of calcium for my day. However, on some occasions I want a frozen drink. Then I might use these bananas I've frozen in the freezer. I break them up and I throw them in the food processor, and they replace the banana. They also have some applesauce and there's water in there. Another day I might make a blueberry drink with just almond milk with no yogurt and no other fruits. Or I could use frozen strawberries and maybe some applesauce, some almond milk. Who knows what combination. The point is, you can use any combinations of fresh or frozen fruits. If you eat dairy, you could use some yogurt. If not, you could use almond milk, rice milk, some other kind of milk, coconut milk. I prefer almond milk. It seems to have the most vitamins in it. Yes, you can make this fresh yourself with just almonds and water, but I like the extra calcium and added vitamins I get from this type of a substance. So for today, the first thing we're going to do is chop up our banana and strawberries. And I could just peel the banana, but it's just as easy to do this. I keep the bananas in the refrigerator and they last for weeks that way. And again, I buy the bananas from the rack at the grocery store that thinks they're rotted. As you can see, that banana's fine, there's nothing wrong with it. Even if there's a dark spot on the banana, that's good for you, it ain't gonna hurt you. I just chop these up so they fit better in the food process. So let me get my blades back in there. Okay, that's in there. Now these strawberries, the reason I often buy frozen strawberries, I get 5 pounds, well this is 4 pounds I get for less than $9. So I get more strawberries for less money, and they last as long as I need them to last in the freezer. Whereas these fresh berries could go bad in a couple of days if I don't eat them. And if I have a busy couple of days, all of a sudden I look and my $3–4 I spent on a little pint of blueberries was wasted because I can't eat them. I could freeze them too, yes I could, but I always, when I got fresh ones, just leave them in the refrigerator, and then if I forget about them, half of them go in the trash. Whereas if I buy the frozen ones, it's the same quality in my opinion as the fresh ones. I don't always buy organic, so it's probably GMO anyway. I'm sure something about it is altered by the food conglomerates, as all food is, but it makes me healthy, so what's the difference? People with hectic lives, they can't always buy organic food, they can't always afford organic food, they can't grow their own food. You gotta eat what's available. That's why Vaz eats a lot of canned foods, because I want this to be able to be done by anyone in any environment. All you have to do is want to eat greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. You see here we have berries going into our drink. Sometimes I put both the super cancer fighting berries, blueberries and strawberries in a drink. That makes an awesome cancer fighting drink. Also, the frozen make it more like a milkshake. This will be a not so cold version of a milkshake, but it will be fairly thick. So first I'll chop up these berries and get them to take up a little less space. I could put the almond milk in now too. I probably put about 6–8 ounces of almond milk, which is 1 serving, which is 30 calories, but it gives me, according to the RDA, 45% of my calcium for that day, just in this one drink. So what I like to do to make it even slightly thicker is put some of my zero-fat yogurt, and it doesn't have anything in it except for, let's look at the ingredients. Culture pastured non-fat milk with live active cultures, all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different live yogurt cultures. So I know those are probiotics that are helping my body. I have it in less than a minute. I got a yummy strawberry banana drink. to consume while I'm sitting in front of the TV tonight. And I'm going to eat that again with my whoopie pie. So this is for you, Shawnee.